Hey everybody, thought I would just make a really short video here explaining a few things about the course and the coming week's assignments. So I hope all of you have had access to your Cengage book. I've had a couple of emails about that. We will use it for about half of the class. For the other parts, I'm going to give you access to what I want you to know. So this is the same automotive book that you've been using, but for sustainability, there's not a whole lot of information in there. And I'll explain that in just a second. Tesla video, I hope all of you watched that. I've probably seen that 50 times. That's if you didn't or have not, please do. It's if I could go back in history and meet anybody, it would be that guy right there. Amazing accomplishments. Safety quiz, and now we'll go on to week 2. So this week you're going to notice that I've given you access to a book, and this is from a different provider. I'm sorry, it's still a Cengage book, but it's a different Cengage book. Let's see if I can get it to open up here. There we go. Got to hit next. So I took snippets out of certain chapters and I've put them in here so that you don't have to. I've dealt with Cengage for years. Trust me, I feel your pain there if any of you have. It's great stuff, but sometimes they loop you around. But everything that I kind of want you to go over and talk about is in here. So that's provided for you. The main reason I want to make this video is a lot of the topics in sustainability focus on global wellness. And I want you to know that in this course, I don't intend on talking much at all about global warming, but climate change. So, global warming has become so political, and there is scientific data to back it and prove it, but still, I believe the Earth to be ever changing, and yes, there is global warming, but we're going to focus on the global changes and what the automotive industry has played a part in doing that. So for this week, you're going to see that I've posted several videos. They're really short. Like this one here, I think this is 2 minutes. So they're all really short. And at the end of these, there'll be a quiz. So you've got to watch the videos because I pulled questions straight from the videos. So I've watched them all. Shouldn't be a very difficult quiz and shouldn't take you a long time to complete it because, like I said, they're all, I think the longest one is like 5 minutes. But my main topic here, and something I always try to talk about in classes, is a little bit of combustion chemistry. So in the videos, they go over carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and maybe you've went over this in other classes or in your automotive classes. And I haven't gotten the opportunity to get to know you all face to face, but I'm a little nerdy when it comes to stuff like this. I like to know how things work, and to me this is as interesting as how the valves open from the camshaft and how the combustion happens inside of the combustion chamber. But speaking just chemically, this picture that I took off of the internet shows a perfect combustion, chemically perfect combustion. So hydrocarbons, that is the gasoline that we're putting in. So gasoline combined with oxygen going into the combustion chamber, and then you all know what happens there, right? You have intake, compression, power, exhaust strokes happening inside of the engine. In a perfect world, everything goes flawlessly. The only byproduct of combustion would be water and carbon dioxide. So CO2 is what we breathe out as human beings. It's what plants absorb. We inhale oxygen, which is actually more nitrogen than oxygen, but let's not overcomplicate it. We inhale oxygen, we expel CO2. Plants absorb CO2 and expel oxygen. Keeping it just simple as we can, that's all that you need to remember. But since the world is not perfect and the combustion cycle is not perfect, sorry, distracted by the animal in the house here. There are other byproducts. So we do have hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. And the byproducts of combustion are hydrocarbons, carbon dioxide, like we've talked about, water. You've all seen when the car's running, water dripping out the tailpipe. Typically, I'd like to say, does anybody know what the other ones would be? Well, one of the big ones is this one, carbon monoxide. So in our non-perfect combustion world here, we want everything to be converted into CO2, but there are leftover molecules of oxygen that combine with carbon and create CO. CO, carbon monoxide, is the, for lack of a better way of explaining it, the deadly, odorless, tasteless, kill you if you leave your garage door closed with your car running gas. Before they came along with catalytic converters in the 70s, this was a huge issue. But catalytic converters help to convert CO to split those molecules and create that back into CO2 and oxygen. There's one other. When you read through the chapter, I think the number is close to 80% of the air that we actually breathe is nitrogen. And I've got that probably just a little bit. I haven't read that chapter in years, but close to 80% is nitrogen and around 20% is oxygen. So as we are sending, in our perfect world here, we've got oxygen, but a large part of that is nitrogen. So nitrogen that enters the combustion chamber will exit as, will combine with oxygen. Doing this with a snipping tool was not a great idea. I can't see my little pointer here, but that comes out the tailpipe as oxides of nitrogen, NOx. This can be attributed to smog. If you've ever been to a big city, and I've been to a few, and you walk out your hotel and it's just like it's a huge dark cloud. And in bigger cities, it's a problem, and it can actually, if you've got breathing problems, or even if you're just completely healthy, you can tell like the air is just real thick. It just doesn't feel right. So catalytic converter also can help with NOx. A big problem with diesel engines is that since they're not actually sparking, they're relying on a huge or heavy compression to actually explode, for lack of a better word, the air-fuel mixture. I can't remember the number. It's around 2,500 degrees, where oxides of nitrogen are almost impossible to eliminate. Those of you that like diesels, you've probably undoubtedly heard of EGR delete kits. So the reason that they run EGR valves so heavily on a diesel engine is just to keep those combustion temperatures below that threshold. And I may have that 2,500 a little bit. That may not be the exact number, but at a point, oxides of nitrogen, you can't stop them. So they run the EGR valve so heavily because exhaust gas recirculation cools combustion temperatures and keeps it below that threshold. And if you can keep that temperature down, you greatly help to eliminate NOx in the air, which turns into smog. And then there's mechanics and people like most of y'all. If I was looking at you face to face, I could gauge your faces, but we do EGR delete kits, which you all know EGR valves can rob a whole lot of torque and horsepower. But when we do that, we're now not being environmentally friendly, and we're getting the power out of our engine, but we're allowing that engine to expel a lot of NOx. So I'm going to pause this just for a second and pull up a different screen. So again, through the combustion cycle, we have hydrocarbons left over. We have carbon dioxide, which in a lot of these videos, and it has been proven that carbon dioxide is a contributor to global heating. Let's keep it that. Let's just say it that way. We have carbon monoxide. We have water. Water. And we have oxygen. And we have oxides of nitrogen. So of those, hydrocarbons, raw fuel, don't really want that, right? But there's going to be some there. Oxygen, okay. CO2, consider to be a global warming gas, but as mechanics, when we're tuning a carburetor, CO2 is going to be okay. All right, CO is the deadly kill you in a garage gas, and we've got water and oxides of nitrogen, which is one of our greatest enemies there. So anyway, I don't want to go on and on about this. I just wanted to, I know when I was looking over those videos some, I thought, well, if you didn't know how this pertained to automotive industry, at least a little bit of an entry level, then it might not make much sense to you. So hope that helps, and I want all of you to know anytime you can send me an email, let me know if I can do anything to help you. A lot of this course is going to be some videos, and I'm glad to make recordings or meet with you or whatever I can do to help. And it's not going to be quite as exciting as rebuilding automatic transmissions, but it is important for all of us to understand that we have kids and our kids are going to have kids, and we all need to do our part to make sure that we're protecting the earth as well as we can. I love a Holley 4-barrel carburetor as much as anybody, but we've all got to be good people and do our part. So anyway, again, give me a shout. Hope this helped a little bit. I'll talk to you soon.